Hello everybody, welcome back. So there's probably not a great deal of things I can say right now until, I suppose, even until the weekend, but I will say this. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin on the weekly. There's good things about it, certainly. There's some other things that are not quite so good. So let's focus on the good news first. We'll go for the good news first. Good news is GQ span trend signal for the itchy cloud is still absolutely still in play. As long as this doesn't close inside the price action, which is 93,800 is where it starts, the trend is still okay. Again, trending up, even diverging to an extent with the blue over the red. We have retested once again the horizontal, the 21, and we've not broken down below it. So this has happened here, here, launched from it here, and here. So we've got basically a candle body which is identical to the bullish one. So this mega bull, this mega bear, but it's basically unchanged really if we think about what's going on here. Also, I suppose to put on the good side of things is that it's getting a little closer to understanding what caused this huge catastrophic collapse. Now, we knew that we were weak on the 4-hourly at the time. We knew that we were sort of like treading carefully on the daily as well. We couldn't have imagined that. Now, look, it's pretty bad, but I know that for some altcoins, the wicks were, well, I mean, they were pretty special, let's face it. But for Bitcoin, again, it's not that bad. It really isn't that bad. I mean, structurally, it's still intact. I would say this is it is kind of a bearish engulfing candle, I suppose, but we haven't closed it yet, and we've not broken down below major supports. So there's all of that, which is the good stuff. And the bad stuff is that, there's plenty of bearish divergence across this weekly, which could seriously mark and lead to a top. Could easily do it. Definitely do it. And there is that, basically. There's even that on the monthly as well. So it does exist over here on the monthly. And as far as candle body highs are concerned, the all-time high was back in July. We've not made a new all-time high. Not yet. But we're still relatively bullish in the way that it's positioned. And again, you could come down to $102,000 over here to get the support, which I believe that's where we saw Bitcoin on the Binance chart come down to. Yes, we did. Hit the 10 exponential, as we saw here and here and here. So, I'm sort of quite disappointed with Binance. The way that this is all gone out now for Binance. Because I trade, I'd say most of my spot is traded through Binance. It's just unfortunate to see that, It's not quite as bad on BloFin, but it's also not too much difference anyway. I'm not setting one off against the other. I do trade across a variety of exchanges, but this was shocking, absolutely shocking from Binance. And it wasn't the same on BloFin, which is my new favourite, but either way, it's still not good. Anyway, whatever the reason, let's get back to the point I'm trying to make. As bad and as nasty as it was, and for what it looks like, I've seen a lot of theories out there. I'm not entirely sure exactly which one the right one is. I've got sort of people I speak to from exchanges, because I'm an influencer of some degree, so I do speak to people who work in the exchanges. And, from what I understand, there was an enormous short position placed. It seems a little bit like particularly odd that it would happen, and then there was a depegging of some stable coin, not any of the big ones, but enough to shake the whole market out. So it all seems a bit weird and crooked, which in a way is good because it doesn't reflect the value of what's going on here, of this bull market, which is still a bull market, and structurally it's still intact. So with all of those things, it's an upset. It's just an upset. I don't think it would lead into a bear market, although a bear market is creeping around the corner. So we are going to do a live stream tonight, if anyone's able to join me for that. Links for the Patreon in the description below. We can have a look at some of these altcoins as best as we can, although I have to say for the majority, not all, but for the majority, They have completely broken their structure. For a select few, they have not. XRP still prime, really. Monthly centre of the Bollinger Band, all the way down to the centre range. You know, it's pretty good. Again, centre range over here, back above the 50 exponential moving average. Again, on the weekly, which is all pretty good. Moving over to the daily, below all moving averages, with actually a short signal in play here as well. So there's some weird stuff going on, and I don't know how useful charts are going to be on a Sunday evening in the absence of traditional markets, which we kind of need, because they also finished like this, which is not a good look for them either. Silver did not. Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on across the board, so we do need to, when we look at the charts tonight, it might not be as useful as looking at them on a Monday night. So we will do the stream tonight anyway, because that's what we've got scheduled, and the next one after that will be Wednesday, which will give us a few more days to reconsider where this market and all markets are going to go in the wake of what took place on Friday. Right, so I'll leave it there. Nothing much more to say. I might not have said enough to satisfy your curiosity anyway, but we will be looking at this tonight and then back on Wednesday, so maybe join me for those. Otherwise, just tread safely, all right? Just be careful. Normally these things are buying opportunities, you know? They're black swans, buying opportunities usually, if the structure is still intact, which it is. And the reality is that as devastating as the pullback was for the market as a whole, Bitcoin, you know, it's actually just a little blip for Bitcoin. We've seen worse than this many, many times. If you've been in Bitcoin or crypto, you know, for as long as we have, you actually miss these sort of moves, and these sort of things used to happen all the time. Right, that's it. See you tonight. Have a nice day. Take it easy.